Welcome to the Entertainment Shelf Podcast, where once a week, Eric and I will be talking video games, movies, and the occasional board game. We'll be covering the big news of the week while also discussing what we've been playing and watching. With that said, thanks for joining us, and let's get this thing started. Hello and welcome everyone back to the Entertainment Shelf Podcast. This is episode 2 on October 29, 2016. I'm your host, Chris Arreo, joined by my man with the plan, my co-host, Erick Fiorelli.
I plan on talking about video games and movies, if that's what you're referring to.
That's what we're going to be doing today.
All right, let's get into it.
All right. So, Eric, another week's gone by since we last talked. What's been going on?
Yeah, well, I just want to say it's episode number 2, so we have now officially doubled the amount of podcasts we have.
Yes, we now have 100% more podcasts than we did before.
Yeah, we're on fire. Let's keep it going.
Anything else going on? Anything interesting?
Well, yesterday I got a root canal, so there's that.
How are you doing? How are you recovering from that?
Much better than I expected. It wasn't nearly as painful as it sounds.
You close to 100% for podcasting?
Yeah, there's almost no pain at this point.
Good. That's number one thing.
So how about yourself, Chris?
Nothing much. I went to New York this Wednesday.
Oh, awesome. For what?
Survivor event.
That's right. You're a really big Survivor fan.
Yeah, we got to watch Survivor with a bunch of actual Survivor contestants. It was pretty cool.
Nice. Awesome.
You know what else is pretty cool? Halloween. Halloween's right around the corner.
Yeah, it's approaching rapidly.
You been doing anything to get ready for Halloween?
Actually, yeah. Today I carved a pumpkin, so that was pretty fun.
Carve anything special? You go with the basics.
You could probably guess what I carved. It was a Temple T, the logo.
Okay, well that was really basic. I was talking about basic as in, you smiley face, 2 eyes, triangle nose.
Yeah, that's a little too basic. Like I can't.
There's nothing wrong with that though.
I've been seeing, like people post pictures of these like super elaborate pumpkins.
Well, don't Eric. Those people have talent. Don't worry about it.
Like I'm not on that level, but I'd like to think
I can make a T in a pumpkin. You thought?
Yeah, exactly. Like I can do more than like 3 triangles and like a smile. Like so, I went with the T.
Yeah, I love those awesome designs. Really cool ones. There was like ones with Nightmare Before Christmas characters like Jack Skellington, Oogie Boogie, Zero. It was pretty cool.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I actually saw one. It was a Hylian shield from the Legend of Zelda games. It's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's actually kind of what made me want to carve a pumpkin. I'm like, oh, well, if they can do that, I think I
can draw a T.
Yeah, I can manage something.
Okay. So for what I've been doing to get in the mood for Halloween is I've been watching a lot of Halloween movies, but we'll get into that later. For now, let's get into what we've been playing. So Eric, you're up.
Yeah, well, Battlefield 1 came out this week, so I picked up a copy of that.
Okay, how was that?
I'm enjoying it so far. I've played about 2 hours so far, so not a ton, but I'm getting my feet wet.
So what's your experience with the Battlefield franchise? Where'd you start? How many have you played?
Yeah, okay, so the very first Battlefield game I ever played was Bad Company 2.
Okay, same. That's where I started.
I really enjoyed it, and then so I eventually played Battlefield 3, and I also have played a little bit of Hardline, and so now I'm here with Battlefield 1.
I played some Hardline. I played only the beta, though. I wasn't really into it. I played 4 and 3. Like, not a lot, but enough.
Yeah, you played Bad Company 2 as well, right?
Yeah, that's where I started. I only played the campaign in Bad Company 2.
Okay, all right, cool. I've been playing the multiplayer so far in Battlefield 1, and...
You been experiencing any server issues, bugs?
No, so I didn't play it on the day it launched. I played like it was already out for a few days, so maybe on the first day there were server issues.
But you haven't noticed anything?
No, it's running really well.
Because Battlefield's been known for their bugs.
Yeah,
and
Battlefield 4
crashes.
had some major issues.
Yeah, especially 4, yeah.
Yeah, but no, it's a really beautiful looking game, which is after seeing what EA did with Battlefront, I fully expected it to look just as good as that.
You have any preferred maps at this point?
Not really. I've only played a few, like one's in the desert and other one's kind of like in a forest area. So
hasn't really set in yet. You just remember big landmarks.
Yeah, and I don't know like where my favorite positions on those maps are yet or anything. So at some point I'll obviously develop.
Have you settled into a class yet? Medic.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they like changed the names on them, but yeah, Medic is what I've been playing so far. I like to stick with one for a while, and like level it up and then move on to the next. Medic, I feel, is always a good one to start with because you get a lot of points by just healing people, which is really.
And whenever
easy.
you're playing with a crew, you need a medic.
Yeah, and that's what I do. I play this game with my brother and one of our friends, so it's three of us, and yeah, we're actually all different classes right now, which is ideal.
And they're all enjoying the game?
Yeah. So my brother's friend, he's already a level 43. He's insane.
43. He's really invested.
Yeah, he's pretty much played nonstop since it's come out, but
There's nothing wrong with that, though.
no, he's
Follow your passions.
yeah. Battlefield 4 was one of his favorite games, so he was super excited for this to come out. And it's also it's awesome having somebody like that on your team all the time that you can like rely on in these types of games.
Any crazy stuff going on you're seeing? Like any weird like physics, like explosions? Because I know in 4, like people are blasting cars up in the air with C4 and things. Any of that?
I haven't noticed anything like that, but it's definitely still super destructible, the whole map. Like you can be driving around in a tank and running over houses and things like that.
How are the tanks?
Tanks are pretty fun. I'm mediocre at driving them, but I like getting in the gunners.
Yeah, you like to support the guy driving?
Yeah.
Get a lot of kills. There's nothing better than a good kill streak in a tank.
Yeah, and I like the way the guns feel in the tanks because, like they're really powerful, but they're not super easy to aim. It's not like I don't feel like I'm just mowing people down or anything.
Yeah, like when you're in the tank, you feel powerful enough, but when you're also versing a tank, you feel like you can defeat it.
Right, yeah, you can definitely take them down if you have the right
balance.
Equipment. Yeah. And then also they have the like the Red Baron style planes, which are pretty awesome. That's actually been the part I've been most impressed with because I wasn't really a fan of the jets in Battlefield 3.
You didn't really get any of the jets or helicopters?
No, I mean, I'm not too great at flying them.
Are you usually a tag along? Like you don't fly it yourself, you're just in there?
Yeah, I like to like spawn on people and then I'm automatically controlling the gun, which is really fun. And yeah, so just getting into like dogfights in the air and those like old style planes has been really fun.
So you haven't taken a shot at flying it yourself, or you have in this new Battlefield?
I did, and it felt better to me than the older games, but I mean, I definitely still have to practice to get better at flying them.
So are you at all interested? I don't know if you bought it, but the premium pass for this?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it's what, like $50?
It's $50.
Yeah.
And it's almost like paying for a second game.
Yeah, I mean, that's what, companies have to do now if they want to keep the base price at $60. They just have these crazy expensive expansions.
Yeah, if I'm going to go all the way on it and spend like $110 it would be for both those things, I need to know the game's good, spend some time with it to know I'm staying around.
Yeah, I mean, I totally recommend the game if you're looking for a good first-person shooter, but I mean, there's, Call of Duty is right about to come out, Titanfall 2 is right about to come out, so...
And they're going to have all their passes too. I've just been burned enough with buying a pass, expecting it to be good, and it's not that good.
I mean, I will say EA has supported the Battlefront pretty well with their season pass. Map packs are still coming out.
Yeah, I'm not saying the maps themselves have been bad in the past. It's just a lot of money up front.
Yeah, it's way too much money in my opinion. I don't plan on getting that at all.
Is that all you got on Battlefield 1?
I wanted to say, so Battlefield 1 takes place in World War I, which is different than all the other ones that I've played that were more modern.
Yeah, most modern shooters are taking place more future as much as it can. Like you got the new Call of Duty, trying to be Halo at this point.
Yeah, exactly. So I was really excited to see how things would be different. To be honest, like the guns feel really similar to how they felt in the previous games. I was hoping maybe they would feel like a little heavier and maybe be just like a little harder to shoot and aim. Not to like a degree where it's like annoying or anything, but
it's like harder, like it'd be harder to fight back then than with like modern guns.
Yeah, the melee system is actually pretty sweet though.
How does that work?
Yeah, there's several different weapons you can equip. So
you're not just going up and stabbing someone?
No, it's not just like, okay, everybody has a knife. Like you can have a shovel as your melee.
Okay. That's what I would do.
Yeah, that's awesome. You can have like a club with spikes on it.
You know what I'd say when I'm going to hit someone with a shovel? I would say, dig this.
Yeah. Well, that's a good line.
And dig his dog tag.
Okay, yeah. I have not unlocked the shovel, so I haven't been able to do that yet.
Oh, it's not even unlockable at the beginning? You can unlock the shovel?
Yeah, you have to unlock most of the melee weapons, but
it's buried under a lot of points, that shovel.
Yeah, but so like, all right, you know how guns back then had like pointy...
Oh yeah, Bayonetta kind of thing?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was using, and so when it's not like, in Call of Duty games, I don't know if the newest ones like this, but it's you just take a slash and someone dies immediately.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's not like that. So you can kind of stab someone from like far away and do like a little bit of damage. Like you can take a couple like quick jabs.
Is it like you get more more damage done if you're behind them, catching them unaware?
Yeah, I've only killed like 3 people with a melee weapon so far. But yeah, it seems like the farther away you are, like the less damage it'll do, because you'll just do like a small kind of jab, and then if you're up close, you'll do more of like a full. But even if you're like facing somebody and you are right in front of them, I think you still normally have to hit them twice, at least with like the starting melee weapon.
All right, it's interesting. Trying to make melee more interesting.
Yeah, so
I can get on board with that.
Yeah, I like what they did there. And then also, there's been like some cool animations. Like they have cannons on one of the levels at least I was playing, and got it. I used it and I shot the ball, and then when I hit the reload button, it actually like popped me out into like a third person view of the camera.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and you go through like a whole animation of like putting in the next cannonball.
Does that get repetitive?
Well, I only used it like a little bit, so I mean, if you're getting shot at and you have to do that, I'm sure it's not.
You can get killed in that animation.
I'm assuming I didn't get shot at, but I don't think you're like
safe.
No, I don't think so. But it looked really cool. I like what they did with that. That is kind of like the old time World War I feel. Yeah. Like if I felt like
you're there.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're not there.
Yeah,
you're in a game.
So I appreciated that. But yeah, no, I'll be playing this game a lot more. This is gonna be a game that I play for like an hour a night on the weekdays with like my brother and our friends. So I'll have a lot more time spending with it.
So what's next on your docket?
Yeah, so I've also been playing, I know I talked about it a little bit last week, but I've been playing some more Downwell. I've been enjoying the game so much on the iPhone that I decided to take the plunge, spend the $3 and get it on Steam as well.
Yeah, I saw you playing it on Steam.
Yeah, and as you would imagine, it feels so much better.
You using a controller or mouse and keyboard?
Yeah, I was using keyboard at first, just keyboard, which felt really good. And then I decided to try and use my Xbox One controller, and that felt even better.
I first time using controller this week too. I also played Downwell this week. It felt pretty good.
I think that's the way to go. I don't know about you, but I use the D-pad instead of the joystick.
No, I use a joystick.
See, I'm like used to using D-pads in like Nintendo games, so I prefer that. And the Xbox 360 D-pad was pretty horrible. So, and I haven't really used the Xbox One D-pad a whole lot because you don't normally have to in like modern games, but it felt really good and it was pretty responsive, so I was happy with that.
So you making any more progress in Downwell?
Yeah, so with Downwell, it's not one of those Steam games where you can play on one computer and then it'll like save your progress. So if you play on a different computer, because I've been playing on my laptop and also I
never tested it. Like when you take a run, you had to like the run's over, or can you come back to a run?
No, you can't.
It's a one and done, right?
Yeah, like you can hit pause and then come back.
I guess you can do that. I never tried that.
Yeah, you can't like save in the middle.
I don't usually last long enough to even try saving it.
Yeah, I'm getting better. I'm probably still far off from getting to that final boss, but I'm having a really good time with it.
What says a lot about it is like I started picking it up just to practice out my controller on my laptop. I was like, I'm just gonna goof around with Downwell for a little bit, and I was like started getting really into it again. Yeah, I couldn't put it down.
You pick it up and you're like, it's one of those games like, all right, just one more try.
Yeah, I can do better now. I can do better.
Yeah, and exactly.
I don't do better. But.
Yeah, so basically right now I have Downwell on like 3 different systems: my iPhone, my laptop, and my PC. So I have like 3 different saves going, but I'm really enjoying it.
All right, anything else?
Well, the other game I was playing, I started playing BioShock, the original BioShock this week.
I've been playing this too. Me and Eric been trying to play this at the same time, trying to stay in the same groove, same amount of time. Yeah,
so we're both getting pretty close to the end of like chapter 1.
Yeah, I got about an hour and a half. What would you say you have in it?
About an hour. Yeah, a little less. Hour 15.
Yeah, I'm a little farther ahead than Eric.
Yeah, but so I've been playing this on my PC, and even though the game is 9 years old now, it came out in 2007, it still looks great.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the update they did on it.
It's not, because the update was free on PC if you already own the original.
Yep.
But it's actually like a completely separate download.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so I was gonna play the update because, why not? It makes sense to do that, but it's been having some issues on the PC version at least. It's been like bugging out and there's been glitching and crashing. So I was like, I'm just going to play it safe, use play the original game, and it still looks so good. Like I don't even care, you know?
Yeah, I agree. Like soon as you like get into Rapture, like when you're first introduced to it, it looks awesome.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, it seemed like kind of an unnecessary update in my opinion, but I mean, I would never complain over better graphics.
Or free on PC.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Can't really complain.
Yeah. Yeah, so I've been playing this game like alone in my apartment at night with headphones on, and it's kind of really like added to the creepiness of the game.
Yeah, it gives off a creepy vibe.
Yeah. So like it's a first person shooter, but it's kind of more like Halo where you're sort of like aiming down you're not aiming down the sights, but you have like that reticle like on the middle of the screen. You can aim down the sights, but it's not. I don't really like to play like that.
I haven't been able to. I've just been shooting. So I tried to aim down, but then you have all those buttons connected to like your power or you're changing your weapon.
For me, I mean, like I said, I was playing on PC. Oh, you are too, though, actually. Yeah. Yes. So I had to press in like the right joystick.
Oh, okay, I didn't do that.
Yeah, so try that. But still, I don't like to. I can probably change the button, but I don't like to click in and click out. It's just annoying.
So how do you feel about any of the characters? I really liked Atlas, the guy talking to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he seems cool. Like he just chimes in every once in a while, and then you always like feel good when he's talking because then you don't feel so alone.
Yeah, when he starts talking, I'm like, oh, okay, I can play this game.
Yeah.
But then when he goes away, I'm like, oh, I'm by myself.
Like, where'd you go?
But like, I'm also like, I'm at the point where I'm like, oh, is this guy a great guy? I don't know. He does have family on the line, which could like he's already has priorities somewhere else than just me.
Well, yeah, he just like he drops that on you right away. He's like, hey man, like you're my only hope. Like you're the only one that can
thank goodness you're here. You're my only hope.
Yeah, it's like, well, it's
what
like,
a coincidence.
I don't owe you anything. I don't even know you. Like,
well, except for the fact he kind of helped you at the beginning.
Yeah, he does help you a little bit. That's true. But yeah, I definitely feel kind of uneasy playing the game, like in a good way though. Like,
I mean, you just got a bunch of characters going around going, I'm gonna get you and stuff.
Yeah.
And like, sounds like it's like that like classic slasher horror movie. The guy slowly making sounds, but you don't know where he is.
Well, that's why I like the view of the game is because when you're getting attacked, the enemies are like right up in your face and you can see them. And if it was like a third person view, it'd be a lot less scary. Like if you could see your full character, because then you're not getting like and people aren't like really, they're not as close. So.
Well, it's also more of like you don't have really a character as much. Like you are your character.
Yeah, like exactly.
And there's they have RPG elements. It is a first-person shooter, but there are elements of RPG. I don't know if you got into the part yet, but you are given a choice pretty early on to either save someone or not save them for benefit of yourself by not saving them. I don't know how much impact it has on the game, but I like that it's in there.
Oh, awesome. No, I didn't get to that part yet. So
yeah, that's where I got right past that. I started the first Big Daddy fight, and then I died. That was the first time I died.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I've died a couple times, but they're pretty like generous on putting you back like close to where you died.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I only died once.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm really enjoying that, especially now since Halloween's right around the corner. It's just a great time to play a game like this.
Yeah, I wasn't really used to the combat system. It felt kind of weird to me. But like once I got the shotgun, things really opened up. It started feeling more like Doom, just blowing things away.
Yeah, I haven't gotten the shotgun yet, unfortunately, but
telekinesis is cool too. Your power to throw things back at people. Like there's this guy throwing grenades at you. You can catch it and throw it right back at him.
Oh, cool.
I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I've been like running out of ammo and stuff, so I've been just like using the wrench a whole lot.
Yeah, with shotgun though, I felt I had enough ammo. Did you also get the machine gun?
Yeah, I have the machine gun.
I ran out of that like as soon as I got it.
Yeah, like right away. Yeah. And it's pretty expensive to get ammo for that at this point in the game. So
you can also repair robots. Did you do that at all?
Yeah, I did do that a couple times, but
Did you like the mini game?
No.
I thought it was all right. It's just like I get really panicked sometimes. I kept messing up. The first robot though, I repaired him right away.
Yeah, like the mini game where it's like the pipes and you have to rotate on.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I like the mini game, but you also do the same exact mini game if you're trying to hack a machine.
Yeah, it's for everything. If you want to get a lower price for health or for other things.
It gets really repetitive like already, so.
Yeah, I can see late game that getting annoying.
Yeah, but it's all right. It's a cool twist.
Are you listening to any of the tapes you find?
No, I don't care about that. Right?
Oh, I listened to them right away.
How long are the tapes?
Not a benefit listen to it right away because I'm fighting and people were talking. I have no idea what they're saying sometimes.
Oh, like it goes over.
Oh, you just hold A right away when you pick it up and then it starts playing the tape.
Oh, so it doesn't like pause the game though?
No, it's just like Atlas talking to you.
All right. Well, maybe I'll start listening to some of them then. I just don't like the pause.
Some are interesting.
Yeah.
It's also more of the Atlas thing. I feel someone's there. I just play just to feel like someone's there.
Yeah. Okay. I'll check that out. I just assumed it would make me like stop the game and listen to whatever the tape was and then resume. So
No, it's pretty fast paced with it.
all right. So yeah. How about that's all you've been playing, right?
Yeah, I've only been playing BioShock this week. I tried getting Rogue Legacy in. I wanted to start that. Couldn't get it working on my PC. So.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, Steam. You never know. Like it could be like just one little tiny thing wrong, and like it just won't get going.
Yeah, I have to figure that out.
Yeah. All right. So going on to some gaming news, Nintendo Switch has a
bringing back the Switch again.
Yeah. There's a press event on January 12th, which is actually one day after my birthday.
Nice.
Yeah, Nintendo's going to hold a presentation about the Switch, which is going to reveal the launch date, price of the system, and also the lineup of games being developed for it. So we're going to
So announced it's going to be held at the Tokyo big site.
Right, yeah. It's going to be taking place in Tokyo, but it's going to be live streamed. So
yeah, globally.
So we can all tune into it. I mean, we talked about the Switch a little bit last week. I wanted to get a little deeper into it, mainly on the price. I wanted to ask, what do you think the price should be?
Well, considering I think of Nintendo systems as a side console to your Xbox or your PlayStation.
Right.
It can't be more than those. I'm hoping somewhere between $250 and $350.
Yeah, so I think if they could sell it for $250, I think that would be great.
That'd be awesome.
The issue with Nintendo is they do not like to sell hardware for losses or even all that close to a loss. And the fact that this thing's supposed to be like set on par with like a PS4 in power, but it's also like a tablet type device, and it's in a way smaller form factor. I mean, this thing has to be expensive to develop, especially because Nintendo doesn't.
Is the consumer going to think it deserves to be expensive? Like, it's a small system.
No, I'm not saying that's. But I don't think the consumer's thinking of all these factors that go into it.
Nintendo Nintendo's going to be worried about if the consumer's getting them to buy it. So that's a thought going through their head.
Right. I don't know. It's got to be pretty pricey for them to make. So I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if it was $399 at launch.
That's pricey, but I can see it being that.
Yeah, I think it would be a mistake. I think it should really be close to $300, but I'm not sure. We'll see.
We were talking about Battlefield earlier. I wanted to bring up the fact that how is the Switch going to handle games that are just multiplayer?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see, because yeah, I guess you can't really have internet connection if you're playing, in the park or whatever. And
so say like Call of Duty, all those kind of games eventually just go full multiplayer, forget about the campaign. Are those kind of like publishers going to walk away? Like, is EA going to eventually walk away because they can't put their multiplayer games on that console?
Yeah, I don't know. I think the only way EA and those guys would walk away is if the system just can't handle the game's graphics anymore, because they're not going to want to like develop a separate type game with like less graphics just for the Switch. I don't know. Even if the games went full multiplayer and you can't play everywhere because you don't have an internet connection in certain places, like Nintendo's still marketing the Switch as a home console right now. I mean, if you can't, I think it'd be fine. Like, okay, I can only play Call of Duty at my house with an internet connection. I don't think that really hurts it.
Yeah, I've kind of come around to the Switch since last week. I'm more pro Switch. The idea of like Nintendo's just putting all their games in one area, their mobile and their console. So I can get behind that.
Yeah, it's because now we'll maybe. I would assume we're finally gonna get like a home console Pokemon game, things like that. Even like Fire Emblem.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, like Animal Crossing is gonna be coming back to your home console, which is exciting. Yeah. So Civ 6 has.
You're a big fan of Civ 5.
Yes, huge fan.
Surprised you're not playing Civ 6 yet.
Well, with the Civ games, especially with Civ 5, what happened? I got it. Maybe it was already like 2-3 years old, and
you gotten it pretty recently.
Yeah, well, I've had it for a couple years now, but when I got it, every single expansion pack was already out, and I got it for like a great deal, like all combined. So that's one thing about the Civ games. When they first come out, the base games normally pretty light on content, but actually Civ 6 has been pretty much everything that the expansions added in Civ 5 are in the base game of Civ 6.
So in your opinion, not playing it yet, you think Civ 5 is not as good as Civ 6 base game, or the opposite?
Yeah, if you're comparing Civ 5 base to the Civ 6 base, Civ 6 like is going to be way more robust.
And with all the stuff, is it better Civ 5 at this point, or?
They seem really similar to me at this point. I mean, I haven't played Civ 6 yet, but like it looks very similar. There's obviously some smaller differences. Like now you can combine units. I think like 3 units and make them like one more powerful unit.
I have no idea what that means.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. It takes up less space on the map and makes it easier to manage your units. Like Civ 5 doesn't have that, so but like nothing. From what I can see, there's nothing like huge, like no like huge difference at this point. I'm sure once more expansions come out, the first and second, however many expansions they have for Civ 6, I think that's when you'll really start seeing the differences.
Yeah, watching footage, I'm not really interested in Civ at all, but watching footage, I can't really tell a difference at all from the other ones. It seems like a game you need to have friends to play to be interesting for me, because I think a Civ is more of like a board game. Okay. Than like something like Crusader Kings, which I think is more stuff, more things to do. Feels more realistic.
Yeah, if you could have like 6 friends to play Civ with, that'd be awesome. But it's just super.
Like there's no role playing ability really in Civ.
No,
and that's a problem for me.
And the games take so long just to complete one round. It's so hard to get people to sit down for that long to just play Civ like all day long.
Yeah, it's the only way though I'd get on board with Civ.
Yeah, I actually prefer just against the AIs because the AIs are hard.
Because you're bad.
Yeah, no, the AIs are hard as it is. So I think they make the game really fun. And then, all right, so moving on to some more gaming news.
No, I never played this game, any of these games.
I've barely played one of them, but Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 and 2.5 Remix was just announced the other day.
Now, I take it back. I played these games when I was younger. Can't really remember anything.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, so this is going to be a PS4 exclusive and supposed to come out March 28th, 2017. So in total, it's going to be 6 different Kingdom Hearts games all on one disc.
They said all 6 adventures?
Yeah, it's kind of confusing because...
if you know nothing about Kingdom Hearts, it's confusing.
Yeah, I mean, neither of us know a ton about it.
I don't know what Remix means, 1.5 means.
Right. So 1.5 and 2.5, from what I understand, were 2 games that were on the PS3, and they were already like bundled. I think like 3 games each, from what I can understand. But yeah, so this remix doesn't include Dream Drop Distance, which was the 3DS Kingdom Hearts. That's the one.
I'm disappointed.
That's the one that I've played. I only played it a little bit of it. I never even got to the part with like the Disney characters and stuff, which is like why I was playing the game. But yeah, Kingdom Hearts has always looked really interesting to me because there's only so many good Disney games, you know?
It looks interesting. I like the concept of like you're battling things with Disney characters.
Yeah, it sounds...
I'm all about Disney, so
exactly.
I can get into it.
Yeah, the storyline is pretty difficult it can be like intimidating because there's been so many at this point. But I've always been interested, and this is kind of just like another game that is pushing me that much closer to wanting to get a PS4, you know?
This is it. This is the game that's going to push you to get PS4.
It's another one. Like there's.
Okay, you're just building a bridge right now.
Yeah. Like
you're almost there.
Like that's the Spider-Man game that's going to be coming out eventually. Like that is maybe like the one that I'd want the PS4 for most. But I haven't ever played the Uncharted series, so those games too. And this is just like
Uncharted's going to be important later in the conversation.
That's right. But yeah, this is just another game. Like if I were to buy a PS4, I'd be like, oh, and I can play Kingdom Hearts now, which would be cool. And the last bit of gaming news is...
Well, I also want to say, did you mention it's also available to pre-order right now?
I didn't, but yeah.
Well, there it is.
If you want to...
I heard it's available to pre-order on Amazon.
Okay, cool. Just do that now. You won't have to worry about it for in 2017. And then the last little bit of gaming news is there's a Steam Halloween sale going on right now.
Love Steam sales?
Yeah, so the sale goes... until November 1st. So depending on when you're listening to this podcast, you can still hopefully take advantage of it. Yeah, the Halloween sale, in my opinion, seems better this year than from what I can remember last year.
I mean, based on all Steam sales, you're pretty much set with the same sales you usually see on games.
Yeah, last year, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like during the Halloween sale, it was actually almost only Halloween-specific games, or like games with like...
Steam does like to do that, like they do like during the election and stuff, like here's only political games. I feel like it's more like kind of a fall deal, like sale, and it's like, oh, let's put it on Halloween because it's the biggest thing. Kind of just like winter is not necessarily like Christmas or anything. It's just like the winter sale.
Right. Well, I have 20 games on my wish list right now, and when I checked out the sale, 10 of the 20 were on sale, and at least 5 of them had like nothing to do with anything related to Halloween at all whatsoever, which is awesome. I actually picked up Super Hot, which was on my wish list. Yeah, it was 40% off, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it go. So I got
So how much was that?
It was $15.
15. It's still pricey, but
yeah, I mean it's still a relatively new game, so I felt like that was a fair price.
Yeah, there's some games I'm always constantly looking at during the sale. There's Mark of the Ninja, which is on sale. I'm thinking about buying it. It's $4 on Steam.
All right,
that
cool.
game looks interesting. Same vein of like Rogue Legacy.
Is $4 the sale price?
$4 right now.
Okay, cool.
On sale.
All right.
And then there's also Don't Starve for $4, which is a good deal.
Don't Starve looks really fun, especially around this time of year. Like that is an actual that makes sense for it to be on sale during the Halloween sale.
Yeah, it's got to kind of have a more scary, darker, creepy vibe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, all right, so that wraps up gaming news. Now let's get into what we've been watching. I guess I'll start off this.
Have you been watching anything new, Eric?
Not really. Yeah, I've been watching more of The Sopranos. I finally finished up with like the filler storyline that I was kind of talking about.
Yeah, they're getting back on the main plot line.
Yeah, that plot line is definitely done now. So they should be. Things
are all starting to come together.
Right. Yeah. There's less than 10 episodes to go now. The last season, and I'm really looking forward to getting back to the actual storyline and getting closer and closer to the show's finale.
All right. So that's it. You've been watching Sopranos.
Yeah, for the most part this week.
I said earlier I'm watching Halloween movies. We're gonna save my watching for later.
Okay, I'm cool with that.
All right. So with that being said, let's move on to movie news.
All right, let's do it.
First up, Sean Levy to direct the Uncharted movie.
You're right. So, all right, I feel like there's a lot riding on this movie to be good.
There's a lot riding on a lot of movies.
Yeah, but I mean, from like the video game community, because
yes, well, we should say, in case you're not aware, Uncharted is based off of a video game franchise,
right?
The Uncharted series starring Nathan Drake.
Yeah, and so as we all know, video game movies tend not to turn out all that great.
None of them turned out great. We still have hope with Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
This seems to be the next big thing.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, Tomb Raider, maybe? Or the Tomb
Raider crap.
All right, yeah.
Angelina Jolie is a perfect Lara Croft, but the movies themselves aren't good.
Yeah, exactly. So there's never really been like a great video game movie, but the Uncharted series, the video games...
It fits perfect.
Yeah,
it's very cinematic.
They have very good storylines themselves, so you would hope that they could create a good story for the movie.
Have you played any of them?
I haven't, but...
I played 2. 2 is one of my favorite games.
Okay.
2 is really, really interesting. As soon as I played it, I'm like, this is just like a movie.
Right.
It should be a movie.
That's what everyone says about Uncharted 4 as well.
Yeah, hopefully they capture it with this. Now, I don't know if you know who Sean Levy is.
Not really.
You're aware of his work. He directed the Night at the Museum movies. You seen any of those?
I've seen the first 2. I think there's only 2, right?
There's 3.
Okay, I've seen
Sadly.
the first 2.
The first one is decent enough as a family comedy. I saw it when it came out. I enjoyed it when I was a kid. But he's also, well, the other 2 aren't that good. He also did Cheaper by the Dozen. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah, that was I like that movie.
You remember as a kid, like it. It's not that good. He also did Pink Panther 2.
My mom loves those movies. They're like another fun family movie.
For some reason, I feel like Pink Panther 1 was good, but I can't remember. Pink Panther 2, though, I know wasn't good. I can remember how bad that was.
I remember the hamburger.
Yeah, I'd like to buy a hamburger.
Yeah, that was funny. That was a good scene.
Like he also did The Internship with Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson.
Gotcha. I've seen most of that, actually. Yeah, the Google
Is it Owen Wilson?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So those aren't that great of a resume, but some of his better ones he did was Date Night. I never seen it, but it has Steve Carell and Tina Fey.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
I got decent reviews. Mm-hmm. Did you think it was funny?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
All right, so that's one of his better ones. And he also did Real Steel, the one with Wolverine, Hugh Jackman.
Okay.
Where like they fight with robots.
So I think that maybe is like the movie that it like makes the most sense looking at his resume for Uncharted.
Yeah, because it touches on. It's got like when you're trying to go for an Uncharted movie, you're gonna want to touch on some comedy,
right?
Because it's lighthearted, but it's also kind of Indiana Jones. You got to get serious. I feel like Real Steel kind of fits that mold. It's got some heart, but it takes itself serious too in parts. So, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Real Steel.
Right.
I thought it was okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little bit surprised after you just read off that list that he got this gig, to be honest.
It's like he's a director. But I don't think he's a bad director.
Okay.
I just don't think he's that great with most of his bad movies are comedies.
Right. And this isn't a comedy.
It's not necessarily a comedy, but it's going to have comedic moments.
Yeah.
Hopefully he focuses more on the stuff he's good at, which would be having some heart and having a good story.
Let's hope he doesn't mess it up. But yeah, I wanted to ask you, who do you think would make a good Nathan Drake?
Well, that's what I was going to get to. The most important part of this movie for me would be making sure you get a good Nathan Drake.
Right.
The director can be decent as long as he does what he needs to do. But if you don't have a good Nathan Drake, you're not gonna have anything. Right.
I think, personally, if we just gave the guy from the Super Mario Bros. Movie a second chance, I think that'd be it.
I don't even know who that is.
Okay, well.
Tom Hanks was originally supposed to be in that movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's okay.
Yeah, he probably would have been better off if he was in it. But yeah, so everyone's saying Chris Pratt, he should be Nathan Drake. Chris Pratt, no. He's already in everything. Give someone else new a shot at being having a franchise. So I don't know who I'd be. Bradley Cooper, maybe.
That'd be interesting. But I don't know. With both those guys, I feel like they're so big. I kind of like to see someone
smaller. I mean, Nathan Fillion would be great, but he's kind of younger. I mean, he's kind of older now. I don't know if he's the age of starting a franchise.
Yeah,
he'd be a good old Nathan Drake.
Right, but I don't really think that's what they're going for. I have no idea though. But yeah, that's something.
I'm happy with an unknown guy going in there.
Yeah, I'd be totally
giving
cool
it a shot. Mm-hmm. But if he's just a bland Joe Schmo, I'm out on this movie.
Yeah, well, that wouldn't be a recipe for success. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to see who gets the job.
All right. So next up on movie news, we have the Deadpool movie. Lost his director, Tim Miller.
Right.
He's no longer directing the sequel. He directed the first one.
So I heard it was some creative differences.
Yeah, people are saying it's creative differences.
Have you heard any specifics? What?
Yeah, there's some rumors that Miller wanted $150 million to make this movie, or close to that, more than he had originally to make the first one. And he wants to make it more kind of stylized and more like the bigger superhero movies you see nowadays.
Okay.
And Ryan Reynolds wants to stick with the style they went with the first one.
I think that's the way to go, personally.
I mean, who knows though? You never know if Miller had a great vision. But what is interesting, it is kind of sad to see Tim Miller go because he was there since the beginning with Ryan Reynolds trying to get the first one made. But they're going in an interesting direction. There's rumors that John Wick director David Leitch going to direct the next Deadpool.
Okay. How do you feel about that?
I'm excited. Did you see John Wick?
No, I didn't.
I saw it. It's one of the better action movies I've seen. It's very highly entertaining. The action is amazing. And the comedic moments that John Wick does have all seem to hit. So I feel like he's perfect for this.
Yeah.
David's more of a guy he could jump in there, do what Ryan Reynolds wants vision-wise, but also add his own style when it comes to the violence, the action that benefits the movie.
See, his resume sounds like it's a perfect fit for this, actually.
Yeah, he's perfect. If you without Tim Miller, he'd be the next guy. I mean, there's other rumors that Matthew Vaughn was going to do it, who's great. He did Kick-Ass and Kingsman, which are movies that I love.
Cool.
But I'm happy with this pick. He's also doing John Wick 2, which I'm excited to see.
All right, but it sounds like David Leitch is the front runner at the moment.
Right now, yeah.
All right. So I wanted to ask, do you think changing directors will negatively impact the final product of Deadpool 2, or is it too early in the process that it won't even really matter?
Well, it's early in the process right now for Deadpool 2, so that's not going to matter in that, the idea of having enough time to pull it together. But it could affect vision-wise. I mean, Miller's a good director.
Right.
I mean, I hope David does a great job keeping this good.
Because, a lot of people are looking forward to this movie, so hopefully they get everything figured out.
I mean, sometimes when a director stays on something for too long, they start doing not well with it. Sam Raimi, amazing with the Spider-Man movies. 1, 2, really well received. Great quality overall. Third one was terrible.
You didn't like Sandman?
I like Sandman. I didn't like Sandman, Venom, and who else was in that? And Goblin with James Franco. Too many villains. It's also just not very entertaining.
Yeah, it was a disappointment for sure, that one.
Yeah, they focused on like less. That's what I'm saying. Like Raimi got. There's also rumors that like the movie company got too involved with it, which is what made it not what Raimi first envisioned. But sometimes the director stays on too long. I mean, they lose interest. We could also go back to last week. We talked about Christopher Nolan and the Batman movies.
Yeah,
1, 2 really good, and then you shit the bed on the third one.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know, but you do want to see some consistency. I don't really want to.
I feel like style. I mean, you saw Ryan Reynolds there.
Yeah, that's true. That'd be way worse if he left. But
I feel like taking it to a big budget, modern superhero movie like everything else, it's gonna different style, not gonna work.
Okay. All right. And then moving on, the Incredibles 2 release date has been moved up and Toy Story 4 has been delayed. So essentially, Disney pulled the old switcheroo on us.
The old switcheroo.
Yeah. And they basically just swapped the release dates for these two movies.
Yeah. So now Incredibles is hitting theaters on June 15, 2018.
Yep. And Toy Story will come out on June 21st, 2019. Yep. So I kind of like this move because we got Toy Story 3 back in 2010, and we haven't had The Incredibles since 2004.
Yeah, if you're saying, what have I been waiting longer to see? Obviously, it's The Incredibles 2.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm really excited for both movies. I'm a fan of both franchises. It seems a little weird that Toy Story is coming out with another movie, though.
Yeah, I'm of the mindset Toy Story should have stopped.
Yeah, I mean, they ended the trilogy with, a nice ending, in my opinion. But I mean, I love Toy Story, so I'm not really complaining. I'll take another.
If any Pixar movie needed a sequel, it was The Incredibles. It wasn't Finding Nemo.
No.
It wasn't Monsters University. Oh, Monsters University could have used a sequel, but it got a prequel.
Right.
Toy Story definitely, I felt, finished it and tied it in a bow with 3. So I'm happy Incredibles is coming first because that's the one I'm most excited to see.
Yeah, same here. Also, with Toy Story 4, I wish they would at least change the name to something better.
Toy Story More?
I like that. That'd be good.
Maybe we'll pitch our ideas to Disney, Pixar. All right, so next up on the docket, we have Edge of Tomorrow 2 news.
Yes.
We have the director, Doug Liman, saying he's going to make a sequel that's a prequel. That's the big news headline.
And quote, he will revolutionize how people make sequels. It's a pretty bold statement.
And I'm interested in this a lot because I love the first Edge of Tomorrow. It's a really entertaining movie. If you like video games, it's very video game-like. You die a lot and you come back to life. You have to try until you perfect your level and you win.
So you're not surprised that there's this sequel coming out?
Well, no. It did I think decently well for the company.
Yeah, I heard it was $350 million globally is what they made on it, which is a good amount. I
mean, you still have Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt coming back, who were amazing in the first one, and you have the same director in Doug Liman. So the same team, I have to trust them. I can't say no when it's the same people working on it. They made something great.
But like that's the thing. I mean, you're saying it's great. I totally trust you on that. I just don't remember hearing. I knew the movie was coming out. I don't remember hearing people like raving about the first one.
It got bad buzz going in because people were like, "Oh, this is just Oblivion with Tom Cruise again," but it wasn't. It was a way better movie, and people were saying the trailers weren't good for the first one. That's why I liked the trailers, but people were saying they're bad. I thought the trailers were fine. I went to go see the movie when it came out in theaters, and I loved it. And I think everyone who saw it loved it, and there was a lot of buzz. It was just that there was also a lot of working around with the title. I think they changed the title like 20 times. They went from Edge of Tomorrow to like Live, Die, Repeat.
Yeah, Live, Die, Repeat, right.
Yeah. And it's based off of like All You Need Is Kill or something. So there's so many titles going on, so it's hard to keep with like what is this movie.
It's kind of confusing, yeah. So hopefully they clean up that in the trailers for this one.
And I've talked about how I'm not a big fan of prequels,
right.
But this prequel idea fits perfect for this kind of movie. It's a movie about time travel. So if you're taking the sequel and you're going back in time to before the first one, that makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah, so it's definitely an interesting concept for sure. It seems like it'll be a good fit.
And I like that Lyman's like trying, like he's going about this like I'm taking a chance with this movie. He says I'll never make a prequel, but I will make a prequel for this. I feel like he's the kind of director. It's like I'm gonna try to bring something new to the table instead of trying to make like a lot of money and go the safe route.
Yeah,
so I trust him.
It sounds like he's got a lot of confidence in his ideas, so it'll be interesting to see how it turns out. And
Lyman obviously he did Swingers and The Bourne Identity, so he's done movies that are original ideas.
Right.
With that being said, let's move on to the Split trailer.
Okay, so I've never really seen anything with a similar storyline to this one, but it's a pretty interesting idea.
Well, the big thing here is that it's directed by M. Night Shyamalan. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
All right, yeah. Well, M. Night Shyamalan doesn't have the best career record right now. After Earth, The Happening,
Right.
The Village. He had a little upswing with The Visit. People liked that. I didn't really care for it.
Okay.
So that's the really big news, that M. Night Shyamalan is doing another movie. So the interesting part is that James McAvoy is starring in it.
Yeah.
He's obviously in the X-Men movies, if you're familiar with those. Mm-hmm. And then, so the concept is that he's a man with 23 personalities.
Right. And that's what I was getting at. I don't know of any movies that have done anything.
I feel like movies have touched on people with different personalities disorders.
Maybe not like 23 though, like being that important to the storyline.
It's definitely asking a lot of James McAvoy to pull off like 23 characters.
I like the 9-year-old version.
Yeah. His name's Kevin in the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely very creepy.
Yeah.
It feels like kind of horror vibe.
I mean, yeah, and then I don't really know what was going on with the whole like Bigfoot twist or like
it's not
like Bigfoot, but
I was with the trailer until it got to like the whole point where like there's this thing now where it turns out people who have personalities can develop actual powers of the people, their different personalities, and he started turning into like a monster kind of thing.
It seemed kind of random.
I mean, if you can pull it off, I'm interested, but I'd rather them not go that route. I'd rather him just be a crazy guy, kind of go like psycho.
And they were the girls that he like was holding captive.
Yeah, he kidnaps at the beginning. He abducts 3 teenage girls.
Yeah, and then they start realizing that they can like talk to the different personalities and
they realize he's not the same person.
Yeah, and they're trying to figure out like, okay, which one do we have to talk to get us out of here? So that part was
the moment where he shows her the window. I like that part. He's like, oh, what did you want to get out?
Like you thought it was a real window? Yeah, exactly.
But the main girl, Anna Taylor-Joy, she's from The Witch. I want to watch that before Halloween comes, but that's supposed to be really scary. She seemed great as the main abducted girl. Yeah,
in the trailer, all the actors and actresses looked really good to me. But yeah, I don't know. The whole beast thing might kind of ruin the movie, in my opinion, but we'll see.
Well, you're saying it doesn't. You never really seen a movie like this. I won't say it's the same concept, but it's got similar elements with 10 Cloverfield Lane, which was about people kind of being abducted and held hostage.
Right.
And you're not really knowing how to deal with the person that's in charge, where their personality really is. So I got similar vibes to that. It's all up to M. Night Shyamalan. If he can, this movie's going to go one of two ways. It's going to be really entertaining, a really good attempt at a movie, and it's going to work, or it's going to be very funny. Like, you're going to watch it and be like, he's trying to, when M. Night's going to be like, I'm trying to be serious here, but you're just going to be laughing your ass off.
Yeah, the different personalities and stuff.
I can see it going really bad, the different personalities being kind of too comedic and not be taken seriously.
Yeah, true. All right.
Especially when he starts like beasting out. Like trying to rip bars open. Like, it could be either very scary or very funny.
Yeah.
And I'm sure M. Night's aiming for very scary.
That's the idea.
And it also comes out January 20th. January's not great for movies, but we'll see with that.
All right. Sounds good.
So we're moving on to a segment special for this week specifically. It's our Halloween special segment.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be talking about our favorite Halloween movie or show that we like to watch around this time to get in the mood.
Yeah. All right. So do you want to get started off?
Sure. I'll go first. The movie I always like to watch around Halloween is a little movie called Paranorman. It's a stop motion animation. Are you familiar with it at all?
No, I had to look it up, and it's like it's an animated movie. I was actually surprised that it didn't look familiar to me.
It's by Leica. They've done Box Trolls and Kubo, and they did Coraline. You ever see that?
I've heard of it.
Yeah, that's another good Halloweenish movie, Coraline.
Yeah, but it looked like a cool little movie though. Paranorman.
I love it. It's considered a comedy horror, but it's obviously for kids.
Right.
The concept is that it's a kid who can see dead people.
Yeah. And
then he's kind of like, everyone in the town doesn't like him because he's a weirdo, except for like one kid who's really cool. He then has like the obligation of now having to save the town from the witch's curse, which is a witch, I guess annually, every Halloween, attacks the town. But his uncle, who's played by John Goodman, has had this mantle of stopping it. Every year he reads and then stop from this book and stops the witch's curse. So his uncle is getting up there and is going to die. So he tells Norman, who's the kid's name, that he has to now do this job. And that's where the movie kind of starts.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds cool. It seems like something that I'd rather watch this than like, Saw or something.
It's very funny. It's not really, I mean, there are scary moments, I would say, like not for like us, but like for kids, I would say are very scary. The opening's great. They kind of like, they do a lot of spoofs on other horror movies, which is pretty interesting for a movie for kids trying to tackle those big concepts.
Yeah. All right. It definitely seems like, so you watch this like every Halloween, you said?
I started like last year. I started watching it. I watched it already again this year. I'm probably going to watch it on Halloween again too.
All right. Awesome. Yeah. So for me, I don't have like a favorite Halloween movie, but kind of what I like to do is normally like revisit one of my like favorite shows and watch like a Halloween themed episode. So I actually ended up going back to The Office, which is just one of my favorite shows. And I watched season 7, episode 6, Costume Contest is the name of the episode.
It's a very funny episode.
It's such a good episode. You had Dwight dressing up as the Scranton Strangler.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Michael was MacGruber until he gets mad at Daryl, and then he decides to dress up as him. And then people are like, Michael, when's the last time dressing as someone's ever helped you? And he, never. I
like the part when Dwight's the
Scranton
Strangler, and then Jim's like, people might think you are the Scranton Strangler. He's like, my chickens think I'm the Scranton Strangler.
Yeah, so it's very comedic, and it's like a lighthearted twist on Halloween. But yeah, it's The Office. It was just a 20-minute episode, but it was a good time going back and revisiting that.
Yeah, you got some fun costumes they're wearing too.
Mm-hmm, yeah,
Pam's olive oil. Jim won't be Popeye.
Yeah.
Daryl is Dracula, not Blackula.
Yeah. Yeah, Michael's mistake on that one.
All right, so I wanted to jump back to a movie that I watched this week that I wanted to save for this segment specifically. It's a little movie that you probably not have heard of. It's called Murder Party.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with it.
I'm a big fan of the horror comedy, which is like similar to Paranorman in a way. This movie came out in 2007. It was very small. It's kind of got a cult following around it. It was directed by and written by Jeremy Saulnier. He also directed Blue Ruin, which is a movie I think is amazing. It's about like a kind of a bum who had his parents killed by this guy, and this guy gets released from prison, and he takes it upon himself to now kill the people who killed his parents.
Okay.
But instead of like, he's not Batman, he's just an average guy who's not good at things.
Yeah.
So but it's not a comedy, it's very serious.
Yeah, okay.
And then he also did The Green Room, which I haven't seen, but I want to. So I would say Saulnier is big on making movies about average people put into these crazy situations. Yes. Blue Ruin also stars Macon Blair, who's also in Murder Party. He's not the main character in Murder Party, but he's a very funny character in Murder Party. So the movie does star who the protagonist in the movie is Chris. So that was interesting.
Now I know why you like this movie.
So it pretty hits head on the nose who Chris is. He's an average lonely guy.
Okay.
But he also seems to be very into the Halloween spirit at the beginning of the movie.
Okay.
The movie is, if you're into movies that are like, this is Halloween, I feel like I'm in a Halloween movie. Awesome looking. You got pumpkins. You got awesome costumes that seem like you would see actually on the streets.
Yeah.
And all the decorations, like decorations you see in your neighborhood. So if you like that stuff, yeah, I'd definitely watch it for that. So the concept is this lonely guy who's into Halloween, who's lonely, finds an invitation to a murder party. He thinks, obviously, this is just a fun party. Yeah. I have nothing better to do. I'll go.
Oh, awesome, yeah.
So now he throws a costume together. He does it by, he rips open like some cardboard boxes, gets some duct tape, and like makes himself into a knight. It's pretty nice looking costume based on the fact that it's made out of cardboard.
Last minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, you're like, okay, this is fun. And then he starts going to the party. This is one of my favorite scenes. Like he's walking down a street and it's really dark and no one's around. And he's like lost, not knowing where the place is. And I'm like in my head, okay, this is the part where I go home, like, screw this. I'm not wasting. This is already creepy.
Right.
And then right after I said that, he starts booking it down the street, running really fast. Like he's just scared being by himself in the street. Yeah. So I'm like, that's perfect.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
He did what you were thinking.
Yeah. The movie overall is not very scary. Like you could watch it easily and not be scared.
All right, cool.
There's a lot of tension though, which is some great tension.
But so he just finds an advertisement for a legitimate party where people are murdering each other?
Not an advertisement, an invitation on the ground. So he gets to the party, right? And then this is where the concept ensues, is that the party is an actual murder party where these crazy artists wanted to see if they could get someone stupid enough to come to the party, tie him up, and then murder him and make it art.
Okay, cool.
So the movie pretty much involves him sitting in a chair, tied up, and the artist waiting for the perfect moment when to murder him. Then stuff happens, obviously. There's some great costumes. There's one guy dressed up like a gothic vampire. You have the guy making, he's dressed like a werewolf. And then the more interesting ones is you have someone dressed like a replicant from Blade Runner, which is a movie I think is really awesome. And someone dressed like a baseball player from The Warriors, which is another very cult-like movie.
I've heard of it, yeah.
It's very entertaining. So that's so you obviously know this guy loves movies, the guy directing it. The acting was especially strong in the movie. That's what carried it, I feel. Like Macon obviously was one of the stronger actors in it. Everyone performed well. It's interesting that I didn't really care for the protagonist because he wasn't really giving much to do. Like, he pretty much says nothing because he's by himself until he gets to the party, and then they tie him up and put a thing over his mouth. So he says nothing. Like, he has a few moments he has to shine. He does pull it off when he has to say what he has to say. But like overall, I'm like, I don't care if this guy dies or not. Okay. Like, obviously, like
pretty mean, but
the murderers are way more entertaining. The only reason I cared about him is because he's in the situation he's in.
Yeah, right.
Like, otherwise, I wouldn't care about him. Like, I cared way more about his murderers because they're way more entertaining. Overall, I didn't like the payoff at the end for a lot of the characters. I thought some of them could have better payoff. But I did like, once it starts getting gruesome at the end, that's when like all the murdering starts happening with all the buildup. Like, that stuff's pulled off well, the murdering and the head splattering and blood. Cool.
So not a terrible ending, but I like it.
No, it's not like it doesn't ruin the movie, but it wasn't like amazing.
Okay.
Definitely watch it though. It captures Halloween. It's very fun. And it's not that much of a commitment. It's 80 minutes.
All right, cool.
So it's an easy sit and it's over. So thanks everyone. That's the end of our podcast. We'd like to remind you can follow us on Twitter at ENT Shelf Podcast. We're also on YouTube, Facebook, and iTunes. Just search Entertainment Shelf Podcast. We'd like to ask for feedback if you feel up to it. We're still new to this and we'd like any way to improve. So that's it. Thanks everyone and peace out.